Hello. Let me launch Blender. Okay. Um, can I select Blender in the game capture option? I can. Does it show up? It does not. Okay. It shows up here. Yep. Good enough. Okay. So, let me check that the live stream is going. Let me. Okay. No. Come on. Close that. Man, when does YouTube fix this error when starting a live stream? I am clearly streaming, it is clearly receiving, I am clearly, sending out when I am live streaming. But the dashboard where you yourself have to check when it's working, you gotta reload that. Maybe it's an issue with OBS, I haven't updated that in a while. It's not really receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Well, my connection is stable. My connection is stable. I am sending enough. Why is it not receiving enough then? And the page is still loading. Pressing F5 a couple more times. Connect streaming software to start. Oh, it is connected. I have been streaming for 4 minutes. I'm pretty sure it's connected. Okay, there we go. Copy video URL. Okay, I sent out the word. Gonna put this over here. Smaller. Top. Okay. Okay, and okay. Well, so I've got a plan. I want the whole thing to be made of small parts that you can print at higher scales and just slot together. And for that to be stable, I need them to, of course, grip into each other. But for them to grip into each other, they need to be kind of puzzle pieces. So here's the idea. I would have some kind of puzzle connection thing. Um, Probably, you know, this would be, on each side it would be like a big grid mirrored in all directions. And see. Uh, so this, but it grips somehow. Uh, and it has a surface above it. So if I have several pieces like that, I want to be able to slide pieces across. This is basically not even a play piece. This is just a base plate I'm planning to make here. The play pieces would just be, plates like that with stuff on top of it, like a castle or whatever, you know? And these would be the play plates, which would have with little nuts on all the corners to keep it all in position. Like the board game Labyrinth or Maze or whatever it's called, wherever you are. Um, I'm thinking, dangerous as it may be, ooh, yeah, this would be ideal. Or, you know what? I'm going to be having so much trouble with this if I don't make it mirrored like this. So, well, not mirrored. In an array, rotate around the z-axis by 90 degrees. Like this. And now, I can make another array with a constant offset of 2. See if that looks good. Hold on. So, this one would be merged. This one wouldn't be merged because then I can solidify. And then I can bevel. And I can see how it slots together like this, you know? And this is about how these pieces would look. I'd probably rather have an arc connection. Yeah, look at that. That looks nice. And of course, I would like them to be slotting into each other. So for that, and this is where it's getting annoying. Yeah. Why is it doing that now? It does fit in this way. So if I don't bevel it, what is it doing here? Huh. Doesn't randomly have a connection here? No. Okay, so what if I bevel above that? Something's broken here. Ooh. Is it a connection here somehow? No. Yes, that's somehow an issue. Okay, so if I move all of this. Yeah, no, that's not right. Right, so if I do that, it doesn't have any problems. What if I... And sometimes technology is just bullshit. Oh, hey! Swaston. Who is Swaston? Let's see. I'm seeing a place in the UK. Yeah, it's just giving me a place. Do you mean Spampton? Or do you mean... I have no idea who Swaston is. Okay. Uh, does it randomly fix itself if I do this? Nope. What if I use the magical weld modifier? Nope. Oh, right, I see. I see the issue. Okay. It was my fault. It was my fault. Happens to the best of them, and therefore, of course, it also happens to me, who is not the best of them. Uh, yeah, the issue was because I had this line here, and I didn't have this line here, which is on this axis here. It was, not properly connecting, and so basically this connection didn't exist, and was just a free-floating vertex here, which it couldn't handle. And the rest of it should work peachy now. Okay, perfect. So yeah, that's the basic idea for the puzzle piece thing I'd like to do. Um, oh, that is, yeah, okay. I was wondering what that was and how it even was a thing. Okay. Now I'd have to see how this would be printed. Of course, it would be printed as single pieces, like multiple of this piece. So how do I best expand this one piece in a way but it's still printable? I'd have to, of course, stack them on top of each. Like I have to, of course, slot them together, so I can't make a thing which makes it only open in one direction. I could also. Another option would be if I. It would be so daring as to start fresh if. Yeah, I'd say that. Uh, so. Something like this, with, once again, the plates next to each other like that. With maybe a little gap. And in between you would have this empty space, which would be fitted with, I think your name is Fishtail or Dovetail or something like that. I believe my fan is about to die. Uh, yes, either my neighbor is mowing the lawn or my fan is about to die. Yeah, this could probably be a lot easier to make it work, because then I can just, have the pieces clack together at the bottom, and I don't need to think about what to put at the top. I can much easier. It would be much easier to prep this kind of place mat. The idea is to make it a board game which can be literally infinitely expanded. Like you would set limits yourself, but if you want, you can just keep adding more. You can just print and keep playing and print more and keep playing and so on. I don't even have any rule set. I just want these kind of pieces to exist. Who the fuck is Foster? I'm still hung up on that. What? What? Let's see. Character? Patrick Warburton. I swear, this guy is born in a place called Swaston again, and I'm finding a Swanson. What is Tokyo Revengers? No, he voiced Joe Swanson. I have no idea what that chatter meant. And they've left already, so I'm done. Okay. These pieces do not need to reach all the way up, because they are only meant to hold it against side-to-side movement. And like as long as it doesn't move in this direction, which all of this should prevent, and as long as it, can't slide out on the x-axis or the y-axis, it's fine. That axis would be kept with, just basic gravity. So, I always create a trash folder in which I throw stuff I'm about to destructively edit. That was my mistake. Much better. Oh, that's gonna be annoying. I like this kind of thing so I can, easily slot into stuff like this. That way I can make these pieces a lot easier to handle. That should be good. Like for printing now. And now I want the top part to be, do I need it to be? I'm thinking about how to best make the top part, play on the surface. That should work. Just for the looks, I'm also gonna bevel these, though. Yeah. And now look at that. I like that life. Nice. I can bevel this on easily just here. That should make this also easy to slot into place. Um, hmm, hmm. Yeah. Okay. Because you would have these plates up top on this, and well, that's the opposite of what I wanted. Um, Longest diagonal, perfect. Yeah, that looks good. I should save. Hmm. Objects, printing. Okay. So assuming like a 16. Let's not assume, let's make. Uh, yeah. Yeah. So we 6, 9, 12, 24 for every 16. Mm-hmm. And this is about how a play field would look like. However big you would want to make it. And yeah, does that look good? Does that seem like it would physically slide properly? I don't know. I don't know. It does seem like it would print pretty well so far. I would definitely have these be printed at like that. Okay. So This would be a play piece. Part of a labyrinth you would slide across. If I wanted to make like to work well, I think I'd have a slight divot here. And that way I can yeah. And does that create? It does, it does. Like that? Yeah, like that. Okay, this way I can more easily constrain where the pieces are placed. No. Like I want them to slide, but I also want them to somewhat slot into place. So instead of a full divot like it is on the plate, not mat, I think I'll just make it a very slight dip. Now the issue is how would this be made for printing? Like you can see in the vision here, it will just fall into these slots, but not enough to actually get stuck when you were to slide them. Just enough to be noticeable. But, you know, printing these pieces wouldn't be as comfortable. Unless you were to do them on the side, maybe. But there are some maze pieces where that is not ideal. But I could make the maze part. Yeah. So on the top of these pieces, you would have I'm noticing the discrepancies. I believe they are fixed. Nope. What happened here? Oh, it's gone now. So since I'm thinking about making these kind of pieces separate from the top labyrinth part so they can be easily slotted together and easily printed. And I'm now thinking about the geometry of that. If I make the whole thing a dovetail, cutting parts like that where you can slide in what you want, I can print them on the side. And these angles are gonna be more than enough for my printer to just do. I'm trying to reduce supports, by the way. That's what I'm doing right now. Like, I don't want it to be creating hundreds of tiny little trees to go up here against that. That doesn't seem desirable. I could also just yeah. Yeah, definitely enough. You know what? Sure. Let's deviate in that regard. And then, shoop. No, shoop, come on. And that's, you know, behold, a piece of a maze. Okay. That does still again. Hmm. Like, hold on, let's move let's go into this. I want to show real quick what the dilemma here is. All of them selected. So now I'm going to show some basic ways this maze would be made. Please select all this. And so you've got some, very basic tiles here. Yeah, I don't know. So, you would basically get the choice out of tiles like these. And you know, some special ones where there's some kind of big event thing or whatever. And so these would be the pieces, you know, and because these would be the pieces, I can print this one on the side. You know, it would go down here, would go up here, but the angles are fine. I can, and here it already stops being easy. Because when you've got this one, you can't really print it on the bottom side without creating info here. You can't print it on this side. You can't print it on this side because then this piece is hanging over. This side has these two, this side has this one, this side has this part. You know, it can't really be done. And ideally, I'd also like to have all of them be as samey as possible in how they are printed. Of course, as many of them as on the side as possible would mean a lot more pieces can be printed at the same time. But this is more about material cost for now. I'm just looking to optimize A, then look at if I can optimize B, then maybe look if I can combine those two into optimization C. You know, one by one, solving problems. Because no matter what, the solutions I will come up with will help me later on. You know, same here. Now what I could do is I could remove pieces like these, where I don't have these two hanging over. And I just have flat surface like that. Which would make this one just an empty flat tile. And that would mean I can print a lot of them on the side. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So, in that case, let's take a look at this one again, this part here. So we've got that, and the dilemma here was, there's no dilemma aside from that. Meaning, I can make this the maze tile. How was that shortcut again for increased requirement? Alt J. Yeah. Because now I won't need this anymore. Because the maze tiles will just be on this. You know, like I displayed earlier here. I'm not going to be taking all of those in. In fact, I'm going to be deleting those. Moving this one over there. And let's go. Am I not thinking about something right now? No, this would be all of it. Like, once I've, cleared out one completely. One moment. I'm looking at my own stream right now to check this. A dead end. I didn't think about a dead end. Okay. Just minor brain slowdown. Okay, and then I would, you know what would be a good distribution of maze tiles? Somebody probably did the math, and so I'm going to look that up right now. What is a good distribution for maze tiles? So I know how many to print of which part. Algorithm for making more interesting mazes. It's probably going to... Okay, so... Let's see. Lots of straight paths. It's about 20% of that. Maybe 10% that. 5% that. Mostly straight tiles. Whoop. Now this is of course a lot more than I actually need. I just want about this distribution of tiles, I think. Yeah. I think that's about it. Mm. Okay. And the way I've arranged all of these, I can easily just place them like that. Ba-ba. Same on these, so that's how many tiles? 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. About 30 tiles, that's fine. It's fine to have a little bit more of you. It's just gonna be making it customizable. And of course, it is about printing a lot more tiles than that. So that and that. Printing plate. gonna be moving that, moving that, moving that, moving all that. I think this should also be printable like that. So, yeah. Yeah. This one's the only one which cannot be printed on the side. So, let's see. That's, how many pieces of that? Objects, where is that? Objects, 20. I think 24 is what I came to when I thought about it for a little bit. So, twelve, 24, 48. That's about it. Let's see how that looks. As an STL. I should select all of these, so I'm not exporting all the mess. STL. Oh. And let's navigate over to that. Objects. Printing. And there it is. About 2 megabytes. And that's something. It's gonna be bigger as a printable file, as a print file. Open with Creality Print. I do not have my own 3D printer, which means I wouldn't be able to very quickly show what this would look like. I'm gonna be... why would I even release this file if and when it works? I'm not gonna be using one of the big specifically printing-based sites, because all of those feel extremely yucky for various reasons. But if works out, I would like to share these files. Preferably for free. This is a little bit, okay. Somehow Blender opened twice. Fortunately, I did look at my setup and made sure I wasn't recording the wrong instance. That would have sucked. I mean, for an hour's worth of work, it's decent, I would say. It's not pretty, but if it works, decent. Where's Creality? Why is it not opening? Oh, it is. It's just hiding itself. It's got the thing in the background, you know, where you've got a interfaceless plate that's got a loading screen, but it's not in the taskbar. It's not being loud. I love accidentally clicking on the wrong symbol. I wanted to send a screenshot to my cousin, who's the one with a 3D printer, and instead opened my autoclicker. Oh, I am getting an encoding overload error thing. And it appears that the stream lagged a good chunk behind. But Reality is finally opening. So, you know, that's something. So, let's see, generic window capture. Let's change that to Creality. Creality range. Okay. So, just drag the file in as opening a file with context menu doesn't open for some reason. And yeah, that's like if I'm printing it with this size, I can probably make a pretty nice sweater out of the pieces in the end, but I think I'd like it to be a little bigger. Yeah. Yeah. That seems good. I will do support just to see if it asks, if it tries to make it. Whoops. Yeah, this program is oosh. tree, auto. Let's give it a blaze plate as well. Like a, now what is it called? Hmm. I think it should be about it. Okay, so let's slice. This is again gonna lag out all the things. Bing. Yeah, it's trying to support this, but it's not even touching it. These do seem a bit small. So I'm gonna remove setting for supports once I have control over the computer again, because it's all the things I'm doing, all the things. And okay. Prepare. Give me the button back. Give me. Okay. Doing it like that. Yeah. And just slice without any support, which should hopefully be possible. If I didn't mess something up. Did I click the button? I sure think I did. Ah, now it noticed. How long would this take? 4 hours, 5 hours. Ooh, that's rough. That is rough. It's a very flat print. There's probably a way to have pieces print on top of each other, but it would only be worth it for these. And I'm pretty sure that wouldn't speed it up in any way. What's taking the most time? No, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how to analyze all of this properly. I'm gonna export that. I do have music in the background, by the way. I just have not figured out how to separate audio from. So, like, if I were to play a game and that had its own sound, I wouldn't know how to separate my music player from the in-game audio, which I would love to do in a lot of games, because I don't like lack of diversity in soundtrack. And a lot of games have the same music over and over again, so I turn it off all the time. But then I'm just sitting there in silence. And, I'm not entertaining myself when speaking about stuff. It's, oh. I'm noticing the text scroller thing I set up is a little broken. I need to fix that. I think I can do that in... Oh, right. I think it's... Yeah, okay. So if I... Okay. Yes, that's how I can... Okay. Yep. So like, when I'm playing a game and I turn off the music, I'm just left with a game without audio and, I don't have myself to listen to. I have to myself to speak in a monologue. And so that's kind of dull. And I would love to have music on in the background while doing that. But I keep trying to figure out how to separate in-game and music audio. And there exist programs which claim to do that, but I have followed a lot of tutorials which, you know, don't result in positive actions. It generally only just clutters my audio setup in ways which don't serve me at all. Okay, I can close that. No, no, oh, fuck's sake. Cancel, discard, just close. Kill. Kill. Go on. Die. I hate modern programs. You know what? I fucking hate them. I'm gonna look for an alternative to reality. I want something open source, something simple, basic as fuck, which, when I click on the X, dies. That span of 5 seconds at most. It asks me maybe once if I want to save something. Not twice. Not 3 times. Not giving me a minute to think it over while it slowly sputters and dies. Just death. Okay, let's see if the printer is free. I've been given access to the printer so I can just check notes. Nope, it's still there. Huh. Well, what now? I can't really, Yeah, I think now I'm just gonna end stream and see if I can get that printed and come back later with either a result or a failure. Failure is still a result, just not a good one. Um, yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's gonna be a stream for today. Just a short one.